few more thoughts about the Delphi murders. I find myself wondering more and more, who killed those girls? It sure as hell wasn't Richard Allen. I don't know if it was the Logan Sport losers, the Odinist guys, somebody making a half-assed sacrifice. I mean, so Richard Allen has a gun. Lots of people have guns. I have a gun. A lot of you people listening to me probably have guns. The police have guns. Probably people in the Patty family have guns as well. And knives. Who doesn't have a box cutter? What guy doesn't carry a knife around in his pocket? I mean, any of you guys that don't, you probably should. Who killed those girls? I keep hearing about inconsistencies in Kelsey German's various statements over the years, and that's pretty curious. At first, when I heard about the hair in Abby's hand, I didn't think it was very significant. I mean, I keep my hair tied up all the time because I shed like crazy. And I don't like hairs just raining down on my arms all day long. It bothers me, so I tie it up. What I mean is, if you live with me and you're found dead, you're probably going to have some of my hairs on you, just because that's the way it is. We have cats, we have dogs. There's going to be all kinds of hair everywhere. It's pretty late at night. I'm pretty tired, so I'm probably not making a lot of sense. But I keep coming back to who killed those girls. And again, I'm going to say I think Richard Allen, I 100% believe Richard Allen is 100% innocent of this crime. But who did it? The way the bodies were positioned, again, in Abby's case, resembles the Hanged Man tarot card. And in Libby's case, resembles the Magician tarot card, with the arms positioned in the in reference to the as above, so below idea, I guess, of reciprocity between realms and dimensions. It's an interesting idea. It's a very old idea. The Hanged Man, I don't know much about tarot. I'm a Christian, which doesn't mean that I shouldn't know about these things. It just means, that's where I stand. Anyway, they were positioned that way. Libby's left arm reaching up, her right arm pointed down, and her head turned as though she were looking up, the way that as though she was pointing at something and looking up at that thing she's pointing at. Does that make sense? And then the sticks placed over the bodies. I've seen 2 of the crime scene photos, and on the subject of crime scene photos, I want to say this. I'm really tired of this holier-than-thou crap about, oh, you shouldn't look at those photos, and if you have the photos, you should delete them, and don't pass them on to anybody, don't share them. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. It's not for weird thrills or some kind of, I don't know. It's not for cheap thrills that I want to see the crime scene photos. I want to see them. I'd like to see more of them, because the way bodies are left after the person is murdered is very important. And in this case, it's extremely important. Those bodies were positioned. The state has hidden so much information since the beginning of this investigation from the public. The trial was kept so tightly sealed. Why is the state so hell-bent on keeping all the information hidden? The positioning of those bodies is very, very important. It's very telling. And again, like I said before, if you're trying to conceal 2 murder victims in the woods, you're not going to do it. Sorry, I'm getting too warm. Oh, my lights are on. You're not going to do it with branches. On a forest floor, you're going to scoop up some armfuls of leaves and dump them on the bodies, and then maybe put some branches on top of the leaves. But just to put branches on top of the bodies does not conceal them whatsoever. I think everybody knows that. I think if we all saw the crime scene photos, I think we'd all have a better understanding of just how ridiculous it is to accuse Richard Allen of these murders. If he, as the state says, was intending to assault them and then got spooked by a white van, excuse me, and then decided in a rush, in a panic, to murder them instead, why then does he put branches over them? Even if the bodies fell to the ground in the positions in which they were found, and weren't actually positioned that way on purpose, still, why would you put branches over them like that? Even if you were in a big rush to run away and didn't have time to conceal the bodies, okay, so you don't have time to pick up some armloads of leaves, why then do you have time to throw branches over the bodies? Maybe the branches don't form runes. I don't know. I don't have time to study Nordic culture and runes and stuff. There's people that know a lot about those things. I'm not one of them. Anyway, the crime scene photos, I've only seen 2. Like I said, I've seen one of Abby. It was taken from behind her, basically, so that you're looking from the top of her head down towards her feet. She's fully clothed. You don't see a speck of blood. It looks like she's just lying there sleeping. There's absolutely nothing to suggest any violence or bloodshed when you see that particular photo. The picture of Libby is different. She's completely naked. There's very little blood in the photo. There's blood around her neck and on her hands. But aside from that, it's just not a gory photo. I don't know what you people have against looking at crime scene photos. It's important. It's not disrespectful. If anybody ever murders me and leaves me naked in the woods with my throat cut open and branches positioned over my body, by all means, please look at the pictures, share the pictures, publish the pictures. Go ahead. Maybe it will help expose whoever it is that killed me. It doesn't rob anybody of dignity. And Libby's, private parts are covered in the photo. It's not like you're going to see anything that, if you're a perv, is going to turn you on. It's just a picture of a dead girl, damn it. And I want to know who killed them. This case is just like JFK, I swear. There's so many different angles to it. Go and watch all the True Crime Jesus YouTube videos about this case. Every time I watched one of those, I came away convinced that the subject of that particular video had done the murders. Because there's so many people who could have done it. There's so many intersecting angles here. There's meth, and there's Odinism, and there's, oh hell, whatever. What else? I just said there's so many, and now I can only think of two. But you know what I'm saying? I just listened to a video about how Kelsey was a mean girl, and maybe she had a motive to off her sister. I don't know. To me, that doesn't, I don't think so. I think Kelsey is kind of a soft marshmallow of a person. Good intentions, not particularly bright. Sorry. I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean, I don't see her as, for instance, like an Israel Keys type of person. Or some kind of evil mastermind. I just don't see it. I don't see her killing her sister or wanting her sister dead. I don't see some kind of weird family sacrifice out in the woods. I mean, it doesn't ring true. I think there's weird stuff in Kelsey's changing stories that deserves more looking into. I think the hair in Abby's hand may be significant. I don't know. I just had to share these things because it's on my mind. I still can't get any peace about it. There's lots and lots of people still talking about this case. I wish I knew what was going on behind the scenes with Richard Allen's appeal process. I know he's just been sentenced to the max. It's just so damn unfair. This poor guy came forward to help the police and say, yeah, I was there that day. You can cross me off the list of potential suspects because I'm here telling you I was there. I know that sometimes murderers will insert themselves into an investigation in order to keep tabs on the investigation. They want to know what the police know. This guy just came in, said, hey, I was there on the trails that day, and then went on about his business and lived his life. And now these people at the damned sentencing with all their victim impact statements. Again, how can you people live with yourselves? You've got to know he didn't do this. You're standing there looking so smug and self-righteous. I suppose maybe you've convinced yourselves that he did do it. Doug Carter and Holman and the Patties. Honestly, you people, I just have to reiterate, I'm sorry you lost your girls. Germans, Patties, and Williamses. I'm really sorry. But myself and so many other people, we just can't see you anymore as innocent victims. Because Richard Allen is innocent. And so we see you folks, with your multi-million-dollar sports complex there in Delphi. And all this wonderful feeling of it's over and today was the day and you've been, justice has been served for the girls and all this. It's all fake. How can you enjoy this moment knowing that it's fake? How can you live with yourselves? You're not innocent victims anymore. And that, I think, is why so many people are starting to look at you family members, not Anna Williams, but you Patties and Germans, looking at you like, what the hell? You people, you're allowing this farce to go on. You're allowing Richard Allen to sit behind bars looking at the rest of his life in prison. And you're perfectly fine with that. It's okay with you, right? Are you just not allowing yourselves to think about it? Are you so stupid that you actually believe he did that? Have you just been talked into it and convinced? Maybe you know something I don't know. I suppose it's possible he did do it, but no, it isn't. He didn't do it. It's not possible. He's just a little guy. He was there looking at fish. That's kind of a strange thing when you think about Ronald Logan and his concocted alibi. He was looking at fish too, at the exotic fish store. I forget which town it was he went to, or said that he went to. He had his cousin or nephew or somebody claim that they had gone to look at fish, in Kokomo or someplace. I don't know. I don't remember. It'll come to me. And Greg Ferenczi, in my first video, I couldn't remember his name, and I feel so bad about that now. He was murdered. He was murdered not too long after contributing to the Odin report. He was murdered by a corrections officer, and by some accounts, an Odinist corrections officer. I still have to say the Odinist angle seems by far the best candidate for who killed those girls. I just had to yell at the world again because my family's tired of hearing about it, and my friends have their own stuff going on, and so I just don't have anybody else to gripe at about this. So I just decided I just have to yell at the world. Other people are doing a much better job at yelling at the world than I am. Rick Snay, God bless you. I wish you'd stop all the damn drama, but you did such a good job on the the Franks Memorandum. Your 3-part video series on the Franks Memorandum is excellent. Michelle After Dark. Again, Defense Diaries. Who else am I forgetting? Well, anyway, I'm just a housewife in Oklahoma. I can't do anything. All I can do is pray. And that is what I'm doing. And so I'm going to suggest that if you care at all about Richard Allen and about innocent people behind bars, you can pray for him. And that is a very, very powerful thing. I've seen God do miracles. I work with animals, and I've seen God, when I ask him to step in and provide a way for an animal to go to a good home instead of going to the needle. That's all I'm going to say about that, but I've seen miracles happen. And I pray daily for Richard Allen. I ask God to protect him, protect his family, protect him physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, keep him safe from all forms of harm, and to give him a very speedy appeal process. Make it happen soon, and make it go well, and be successful, and get him out from behind bars. And not only that, but bring to light what really happened. Who killed those girls? What really happened there on that day? I don't know Richard Allen. Like I said before, maybe he's a jerk. I don't know. It doesn't matter. From all accounts, he's just a kind of a passive, mild-mannered, quiet guy. Just a typical middle-aged, middle-American, Midwestern guy. Just living his life, doing his thing. And Indiana is probably not too different from where I live. I mean, I live in a town about the same size. It's also a county seat. There are a lot of similarities. That's not why this case grabbed me so hard. It grabbed me for the same reason it grabbed everybody else. The bridge guy video and the remote location and the bizarre, two girls going out for a walk in the middle of the day and then found dead the next morning. I always believed those girls were made to go down the hill and get into a car that was waiting for them. And I always believed they were taken someplace else. And then, excuse me, I don't know if they were brought back to the trails and killed there or killed somewhere else. And I don't know, Libby weighed 200 pounds, for crying out loud. She was a big girl. It wouldn't be such a hard thing for 2 or 3 or 4 grown men to handle her, especially if they had her, I don't know, slung in a blanket or something. Maybe they did. I don't know. But the FBI guy said the bodies had been moved. And how do you get a girl whose throat has been cut lying there on the forest floor with no blood on her hands or on her... I mean, I didn't see her face. There's no blood on her clothing that you can see in the photo. Like I said, it looks like a girl just lying on the forest floor. Excuse me. Where'd all the blood go? Maybe these girls were, quote unquote, sacrificed and drained of blood and the blood went into the creek. I don't know. And like I pointed out in one of the comments on my last video, and this will probably be my last video because I don't intend to be a YouTuber. This is kind of uncomfortable for me. I'm not accusing pagans across the board of being bloodthirsty, human sacrificing monsters. But I think when somebody who's very overzealous and maybe not too bright gets very caught up in making this the pagan rites and the Nordic excuse me, not, I guess, belief system, making it part of his identity. It's like when you have a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. A little bit of knowledge about a culture and a tradition can be dangerous in the same way, in that you tend to portray it in a grotesquely warped way. You know a little bit about the Mexican culture, and so you wind up with the, I don't know, the giant hats and the mariachi and the, you know what I'm saying? It becomes a caricature. Maybe that's what happened here. Maybe some backwoods trailer trash wannabes associated with these other guys who they viewed to be, masculine and powerful and tough and manly. Maybe they're trying to live up to that. Maybe they thought, well, I can't be as masculine and tough and manly as them, but I can sure as hell kill 2 teenage girls and drain their blood. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. I hate to quote Doug Carter, but he did say only a coward would do such a thing, and I think he's right. I mean, even Aleister Crowley said a boy is the best sacrifice. Not that I'm advocating anything Crowley said or any kind of sacrifice. I'm just saying. Who kills 2 girls as a sacrifice? Oh, I'm rambling. Anyway. I just want to know who killed those girls, and I want to see Richard Allen set free and exonerated and vindicated. I hope he sues the shit out of the state of Indiana. Richard Allen, if you ever get a chance to hear me, not that that's a great privilege or anything, but I believe you're innocent. I pray for you every day. I can't wait to see you get set free and proved not guilty. And I want to know who killed those girls. So I guess I'm done yelling at the world. Goodbye.